Hello everyone, my full name Phạm Thị Thu Hương. Today I want to talk about the reason for choosing this topic. Today the importance of English in education in the top table because speaking English finally and ethically will create many opportunity for Vietnamese students to study and work in Europe friendly English environment. This is also the purpose of learning foreign language. However, most Vietnamese students encounter some problem in the process of the learning English speaking skills, namely how to pronunciation English correctly and clearly. No matter how rich in vocabulary it is useless if native speakers do not understand what they say. In some cases, mispronouncing the last sound, especially the plural ending, can lead to misinterpretation. However, because concatenation is so important in the English language, pronunciation is the curator. Clear terms are not enough to set communicate goals. All the students are taught the final sound of the English full form in the high school. Therefore, students are expected to be in the habit of pronunciating their final sounds correctly. However, non-specifically students still find difficult with the final sound in the attention to inability to show the connection when speaking and the position of the tones. To to it still wrong. Sometimes it is partly due to inappropriate teaching of the learning methods of teaching and staff and students. Their problem have been preventing study from adjusting the research level of the pronunciation skill. Although there are many documents as well as research on English pronunciation, the document or is prep study on the final pronunciation of the plural form are still limited. The two sound E or E are two of the most commonly mispronounced styles that people notice. That is the reason why we choose this the topic for research.
And the number two, hello everyone, my name is Nguyễn Thị Thùy Linh. And the number two, I will tell the finding and reason. In the finding, the first is finding. Finding have the three finding. The finding one is have the problem with E sound. And finding two is problem with the E sound. And the finding three, the general use. In the finding one, problem with the E sound. When pronouncing, you will often have the problem with the E sound. You ask the dialogue, that's my group. I noticed that the sound are often mispronounced, have the children's ticket, 50, and the result. So that's though with the poor pronunciation have the 13%. Fair pronunciation have the 32%. Good pronunciation have the 38%. Very good pronunciation have the 18%. And the final excellent pronunciation have the 0%. Though the above the data, we see that the total of people with poor and fair pronunciation have the 45%. According to the high and number of people with excellent pronunciation have the 0%. This shows that people still have a lot of trouble with the E sound and problem. And the final two, the problem with the E sound. The pronunciation we have the problem with the E sound at the evening, 3 and 3. We have the poor pronunciation have the 29%. Fair pronunciation have the 36%. Good pronunciation have the 28%. And very good pronunciation have the 7%. Finally, excellent pronunciation have the 0%. We have the total of the poor and fair level is 65%. According to the higher and higher than the poor and fair percent with the E sound. The number of people many people still have a lot of trouble with the pronunciation with E sound. And the fighting three general use. After listening and studying the material we have collected, there are people who pronounce these two sound like the E sound in Vietnamese. According to about 52% of the total respondents. And this is very high number and indicated. That's have the main reason why Vietnamese people in particular who practice in our survey didn't pronounce it corrected and have many difficulty in pronouncing it. And look at the chart. Chart 1 is gender. Chart 2 is age. Chart 3, majority. Chart 4 is purpose of listening English. Chart 5, number of years studying English. Chart 6, frequency of learning English. 7, frequency of using English listening skill. 8 is frequency of using English speaking skill. And 9 is have the study English course. We have in the newly discovered data, the number of people who have difficulty in pronunciation is between the age of 18 and 22 years old. Often in fields such as natural products, social products, currency language products, economic, information technology, and so on. These are mostly industry and that needs English to work in the future. In addition, when surveying is known that we have the scattered of the North, Central, and South region, and have the two groups of people who have the first is have learned English more than 6 years and to learn English from 2 to 6 years. And the final conclusion, we can see that no matter industry, the percentage of people who misproduct have difficult pronouncing is very high.
Now we'll come to the reason of the of the founders of Friday. I'm Rick. Now I will show you the reasons. First, let's go to the teachers. There are some common reasons for teachers' limitation. The teaching method is too complicated, not attractive enough for students, lack of teaching facility and tools. It is the teachers who have limited knowledge. This is the cause's most direct and strongest influence on teachers. The previous cause can be easily detected and remedied. But this cause requires a whole process. with the teacher, especially when this problem is solved. The teacher again also feel more confident in the teaching process. Next, we come to the student. For students who are not studying in the major, it is surely just they do not have adequate access to the knowledge in the report, leading to the confusion. The process of making the report is the student who studying in major. The main reason is for this problem is due to the unreasonable time arrangements, lack of time to practice as well as practice class knowledge. From there, it leads to them not preparing too well for this subject. It leads to the same embarrassment and the previous groups of the students. And now we will come to the solution.
My full name is Gautwali. After finding out the mistake when pronoun, here are some solutions we offer. For teacher, during class time, students must be allowed to use the language according to their ability to achieve that goal. Teacher must keep students the habit of correcting pronunciation, listening, and correcting. Often use the dictionary to ask what if you don't know exactly how to read. Teacher needs to know the student specific level. Teacher should have precise and dynamic teaching methods to stimulate interest in learning. Let's study what video of English lecture by foreign teacher to be able to pronounce them better. For students, pronunciation is an important part of the English fluent person because you need to because the pupil are to you understand what you are saying to communicate. However, don't worry. After today, we will feel more um, confident to your English pronunciation skill and the pronunciation of E and E's. When you pronounce E, this is a stand vowel and requires following stand facial and muscle. Lip spirits with a smell, tongue high in the mouth, and muscle in the throat. Inductor. When you pronounce E, this is a less level and requires a follow relaxed facial muscle, the slightly drop, no smell, tongue relaxed, and muscle in throat are not stand. If you are if you are unsure about how where the tongue should be, you can do the finger test. Do check for placement. Place the index pointer finger in the mouth and go upwards so it's on through of the mouth. If you make the E sound, you should feel pressure on your finger because the tongue is popping up into it. If you make in E sound, you shouldn't feel that pressure because the tongue shouldn't be touching your finger. Can you feel the difference? We have practice speaking more about E and E's pronunciation. After watching, you should make more video about practice on speaking skill as well as pronunciation. Another way is to use English app to hear more pronunciation for foreign teacher. For exa- for example, VOA, ELSA, and BBC Learning English. We can imitate their pronunciation to prove ourselves. If you focus on your study, I'm sure you will success.
Um, as finally is without. Uh, First is finding one. Before the practice for E sound is total of
45% of people wonder how pronounced is the style and will often mispronounce it. Children, kids, 50, and after practice 2 weeks, the style is total number of people making mistakes and their true style is decreased to 25% of people making mistakes, and styles are often mispronounced. Children, kids, 50 decrease completely. And second, the fighting tool. Before the prostate for each style, and also a 65% of people question the pronouns stitch shall the frequently mispronounced out evening. 3. After prostate. 2 weeks the style the total number of people making mistakes with their two sound has decreased to 38%. As people making mistakes and the sound often mispronounce evening as long as 3 are reduced. And finally, finding 3. Before practicing at the number of people who make mistakes with two sounds E and E has up to 52% of people make mistakes, and their basic mistakes is not being able to distinguish the pronunciation of E and E. After practice, most people can overcome the difficulty as being able to identify and read the difference between E and E. The number of people who make so through negative error and only 29% of people who make mistakes. Here are some good sport words out, messages or just to week. Thank you for watching.
Ai tắt kia record để đấy. Tao bị lạc đấy.
Sao mà tắt đơn, con làm tắt đơn. Mà tắt chứ. Ai đi có tin tắt chứ.
Nhưng mà bên tao lạc men đấy. Chứ đúng lúc.
Ở đây được. Con nó chồng mình ngồi cắt. Nó tắt được. Con nó từ cắt đâu.
Rồi tí tao giờ phân nửa ra được ha.
Chủ
Rồi bây cách phân nửa
đi. Chủ Phong vào thằng đi. Mình chủ Phong.
Từ từ mà lạc nữa đi đây, nó lạc hết rồi. Chờ này nha. Nó lạc ra giật đi đây.